Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Bashiro. So in this video I want to teach you actually how to execute all the special moves in Guilty Gear Strive. So this video is aimed actually at absolute beginners to the game. So there is an open beta going on right now and the game will be released next month. So let me teach you how you can do all these cool and flashy moves in the game. And of course we'll be using a controller. We'll not do any fancy arcade stuff for today. So of course, why we're using controller, because this is what comes with your console and it's for free. I'll be demonstrating using a PS5 controller, but you can do the whole thing also with a PS4 controller. Yeah, guys, so if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like. And if you enjoy my content, just subscribe to the channel. And let's begin. Okay, first things first, let's go over the button settings that I'm using. For me, to be honest, like there's a lot of ways that you can map your buttons, but this is for me like the most comfortable one. So the square is for punch, the triangle is for kick, the circle is for slash, and the X is for heavy slash. The dust, which is the overhead, I assign it to R1. Dash, I assign it for R2. I'll explain why this is important later. L1 is Roman cancel, and L2 is psych burst. And if you're using a PS5 controller, PS4 controller, usually I map this for the resetting of the position. Okay, so let's start by something things first. If you want to read combos or you need to read special moves in fighting games, you need to learn something called numpad notations. So what is numpad notations? Basically, each direction in your D-pad or your analog stick, it actually relates to a button on your keyboard. So if I bring my keyboard here, you will see that there are buttons like from 1 until 9. So if I want to say down, I say 2. If I want to say front, I say 6. If I want to say back, say 4, so on and so forth. And this is all assuming actually that your character is facing right. So let's say, for example, I am Soul and I need to move forward. It's annotated as 6. If I want to do a fireball motion, which is 2, 3, 6, it means down, corner, and front. So when you're watching combo videos or you're watching this kind of things, usually this is what you will see. Like this is what the numbers mean actually. And of course, if you see like P, K, S, HS, this is each button in the game, attack button in the game. So let's start by learning how to do the special moves. So in the game like Guilty Gear Strive, you have 3 types of special moves, just to simplify it. So the first one is actually, it's called like directional special moves. It basically means that you need to input like a quarter circle or half circle motion or some sort of a motion combination, and then press a button later on to execute a special move. The second kind actually is what we call them actually as charge characters. Charge characters, it means that you need to either go back then front to do the special move, or you need to press down and up. And the third type in Guilty Gear Strive is actually hybrid characters that can do both types of special moves. So if you want to learn how to do the special moves, you can actually first go and see the command list. So the command list, it will teach you like what is the motion that you need to do in addition to the button that you need to press. So now let's go like how do you actually go about doing these movements, because some people, they find it tricky and I don't actually blame them. Fighting games can be a little bit hard to learn, but hopefully I can make it easier for you. So we'll start with Soul Bat Guy. Soul Bat Guy is like a directional special move guy. So if you want to do a fireball, which we explained that it annotates to a 2, 3, 6 punch, you do down and front, down, front. But you do it like in a smooth motion, like you slide your fingers across the D-pad. So if you do it like that, then you press punch later on, it will come out. Every single game, it has something called an input buffer. What's an input buffer? It's actually the time between where you can do the motion, then press the button later on. So for example, if you do it immediately like that, the gun flame will come out. But if you do the motion and you wait, then you press punch, you took too much time. So each game has like a specific window of time that allows you to do it. For a game like Guilty Gear Strive, it's not that strict. So if you do the motion, then the attack button, as you can see, actually the game is lenient when it comes to those things. I suggest also that if you are a beginner, if you see on the bottom left part of my screen, you will see like there's a virtual D-pad, and this actually helps you like know what kind of motion that you are doing. The second thing actually, before we continue, is make sure you are not overshooting like your special move inputs. So if, for example, like for a gun flame, if you do this, it will come up. But if you do it and you like do it with up, actually you will end up jumping and your move will not come out. So learn how to execute these movements like accurately. You can also do this with the analog stick, but for beginners I really suggest that you rely on D-pad for special moves and on the analog stick for movement. All right. So the second type of moves, actually, it's what we call like a tatsu or a spinning wheel kick attack. So this one you do it actually the reverse of the fireball motion. So if you do 2-3-6, you will do 2-1-4, which is down, corner back, then back again, and you do it like, for example, with a button. So for Sol, we know that his banded revolver, that is how you do it. Sorry, banded bringer. You see, with that press down, corner, then up. And if you see here on the virtual stick, it's like a motion. For me, I overshoot it a little bit, but still it came out. Okay? So the third kind of moves actually is what we call dragon punch moves, which is basically usually assigned like to an invincible button. The command is a little bit tricky because the reward is good, because it allows you to get people off you. So how you do this dragon punch motion? You press front, down, then down front, which we call actually 6, 2, 3. So the way you do it is you do like a Z motion. You press front, then down, then you do down front at the same time. So we know that Sol's Volcanic Viper is done with a slash and a heavy slash. So if I do it like that, as you can see, it comes out. Usually this is one of the most tricky moves for beginners to learn, but the reward is actually good. Because if like you are being attacked or the opponent like is trying to pressure you, if you do this, you can get them off you. And of course, if you go to the other side, you have to do it with the like on the other side, because now you are facing the left side. So if I do it like that, I don't usually recommend for beginners to do this dragon punch motion with an analog stick, because sometimes you will overshoot it. But if you want to learn how to do it with an analog stick, it's front, down, then like a fireball motion again. As you can see, it comes out. Of course, some moves you can do them in the air at the same time. So if you want to do a move in the air, of course, always refer back to the command list. You can jump and you can do the motion. Okay, now let's talk about special moves for directional command characters. Usually these are either like half circle motion with front, or you need to do quarter circle twice, then you press the button. So for Sol, that we know that his Tyrant Flame, it's executed by pressing front, like that half circle motion from the front to the back. You can do it also with an analog, you can also do it with a controller. Then after that you need to press front, then you need to press heavy slash, yeah. So if I do it like that. So this is how you actually execute it. If you want to do it with an analog, just slide just slide your hand like that. Oh, it's a little bit hard. That's why I'm recommending always to use this if you're a beginner. To use the D-pad. Because see how easy it is? Because also the D-pad, it will guide your hand. If you want to do it with an analog, you have a lot of free movement. So it really depends on what do you prefer. And the second type actually of special moves is when you do a quarter circle motion twice, then you input a button. So we know that Mob Cemetery for Sol, it's actually quarter back twice, then you press heavy slash. So that's it. Always, if you forget or you get confused like how to do the motion, just refer back to the command list and follow my tips how to use it. Usually I use my thumb here, yeah. I use my thumb for the circle motions, and I'm recommending again as a beginner, use the D-pad. Don't rely too much on analog because it's a little bit difficult. Okay, now let's talk about the second archetype, which is actually charge characters. So Mei is a charge character, and if we go to her command list, you will see that her special moves actually, it's like a charge motion. So for her, she either needs to charge back, then front, or she needs to charge down, then up. And of course she has, since she's like what do we call like a hybrid character, she also shares like some of the directional moves like Sol. So which makes her maybe a little bit tricky to use, but that's part of learning fighting games. So for example, for me, if you hold back, then front, and for example slash, you will do this. The period that you need to charge depends like from game to game. So for example, for a character like me, you need to charge like for a second. So one, front. And if you want to do it down, up, same thing. You do down, then as soon as you're pressing up, you press the attack button. Yeah. So why this is important, actually, for charge characters, you can actually do it while you're holding back also. This is something to keep in mind. So if you are defending, you can actually hold down and back. You can actually either go up or you can go front. So this way you are guarding and you can execute the move quickly. This is like the thing with the charge characters, is you can maintain like the motion even while you are blocking, but it means that, what they call it, you're on the defensive, which makes them actually good characters by design, to be honest. So also, as we said, Mei is also a hybrid character. So she has some of the moves like a Dragon Punch move, for example, which is like a command grab. So, yep. Also for special moves, she's the same. You do like motions like that. And that's how it is. Even for a character like Potemkin, he has also like charge moves like Mei. And then he has like a half circle and quarter circle motions for his other moves. So, yeah, guys, I will keep it not too complicated. I will not make this video so long, but this is basically how you execute like special moves in the games. I recommend for you as a beginner, always use the button mapping. So map shortcuts to your buttons. There is nothing wrong with using shortcuts if you're a beginner. So for me, what I'm recommending for you in Guilty Gear Strive actually is assign the R2 to the dash. Because in this game, like if you press front twice, you run, and if you press back twice, you can back dash, and if you jump and you press front twice, you can do back instant air dashes, or like air dash front, air dash back. So, for example, let's say that you want to jump and you want to do a dash really quickly. So if you want to jump, then you want to do this. If you're still like new to learning the game, it's pretty hard to do. But if you have like the dash command, see, I press one button and it's all runs, and if I press back, see, that's easy. So what that means also, so if you jump and you press it like that, see, you immediately do an air dash, which is really, really cool. Yeah. The other thing actually is I'm recommending that you map the L1 for Roman cancelling. Roman cancelling is a mechanic that allows you like to cancel your attacks or special moves into other moves by consuming 50 of your meter. So usually it's done by pressing punch, kick, and slash, which is like this, which is, to be honest, is a little bit hard to do on a controller. But if you assign it to one button, so you can do something like that. See, you can then go for your moves or etc. And the last thing actually is I'm recommending that you assign L2, sorry, here, to the Psych Burst. Psych Burst, as you can see, like there is a meter under your health that's flashing blue. That's basically allows you like to escape, like if you're being hit or you like someone is landing a combo on you. So if you press it like that, you can escape. Usually the way that you do this actually is you press, see, all buttons, which is, sorry, not all buttons. You need to press like heavy slash and dust, or slash and dust. So it might be tricky, but if you put it for one button, this is easy for you. Alright guys, that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comment section and I'll try my best to answer you. And I'll be streaming today at 5 p.m. GMT, which is around 10 a.m. Pacific time. So if you have any questions, hop in here to my YouTube channels and I will make sure to help you and answer any questions that you have. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching and I hope that you enjoyed the Guilty Gear Strive Open Beta 2. And I'll catch you in the next video. Yalla, peace.